Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Eric.
Hi, I'm Veronica, the new doctor.
Today, today we are talking about Days of Our Lives in 1984, January 9th to the 13th. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So Doug is still recovering from his heart attack, and Julie's trying to keep Hope from seeing him because she thinks it'll agitate him, but he's insisting.
Now, he didn't have any surgery yet, right? Is he supposedly have like surgery off camera? I'm
I
confused
don't
by it.
remember any mention of surgery. Did they
He
mention
doesn't need
surgery?
surgery? I don't know. I would assume. No,
I don't know.
he had like a pretty severe heart attack. I would think he would need something, a cath. I don't know.
Maybe he's gonna have surgery. I don't really remember.
Maybe. He seems pretty critical though, so I figured he would need some kind of surgery. But all right,
And they're
don't worry.
saying they don't want her to agitate him. They will. So they finally give in and let Hope go to see him because he's insistent that he wants to see Hope. So they
Yeah.
give him what he wants.
I'm like, finally.
Larry's lurking around, driving Hope around, being supportive. Um,
Hmm.
he calls her princess, and she's like, "Oh, my dad calls me princess," and he's like, "Oh, they'll have to call you something else because I don't want you to look at me like your father." I'm like, "You're gross."
Yeah, I know. I know, it's gross.
um, Julie's like, "You can go in there, but don't agitate him. Don't bring up anything like Bo." So she goes in there, and he brings up Bo. Like she didn't even have to. He like brings it up.
And she tried to sway him away from it.
Yeah,
She said, let's not talk about that now. He's
yeah,
like, but I want to talk because he thinks he's dying, basically. So he wants to make sure she's good.
yeah. So he puts on this whole this might be a later conversation, but he's like, your mother named you Hope because she was sick and you were supposed to be my hope. And I made the promise that I was going to protect you. He's
Yeah,
like, I know me, I'm probably like playing on the fact of like the current situation. He's like, but I just want what's best for you. He's like, I want you to go to college and like grow up pretty much before you settle on this one person being the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life.
right.
And because she doesn't want to fight or agitate him, she says that she'll think about it. And she says, I mean it, I'll think about it. We didn't see a lot of Roman and Anna. We got a lot of phone calls all over town, but we didn't see them till like towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
um Ty tries to blackmail Alex by playing, I think, the tape that Anna had, but it's blank. Is that what it
I'm like,
was?
what is? Yeah. So I think because didn't Bo get the tape or whatever, so that
Yeah.
he has like fake ones or whatever. Yeah.
But Bo also has a tape because he like put a wire on through the wall or whatever to like eavesdrop on Alex. So he has his own tape.
But I feel like this is like Ty's send off, and I'm like, that's a shitty send off because he said basically like he's not even worth killing.
Yeah.
He's like,
You might be
he's
right.
like, you know,
I don't remember how he goes, but I think he's gone now.
yeah, I think that's it, and that sucks because I'm like, he could have like had some revenge or tried something like to give him a little something, but they just like basically wiped him off.
Maggie wants to talk to Melissa about her and Dawn setting a wedding date, and she's preoccupied because she wants to see Pete and help him study. Um,
Mm,
I need to know that. So she's just like, yeah, sure. Like, because she's supposed to meet up with Pete. So she's like, not even paying attention to what Maggie's saying. And Maggie thinks that
right.
she's not having any kind of emotional reaction to the news. But I
Mm.
did notice Maggie's dress, very like up to the neck in the front, very swooped down in the back. And I was like, oh, look at you, Maggie, showing some back.
Get it, Mags.
um,
Speaking of Pete, I did look him up because I was curious about how long he stayed because he gets on my nerves. So I was like, but
you're like, when
he
does he
stays
leave?
a while. He's only for a long time. I gotta buckle in. But
Couple of years.
apparently this year he got like best male newcomer.
Oh yeah.
On the soap opera digest awards, yeah. And
Oh,
he
so
is a good actor. He's just his character is annoying. That's all.
yeah, he just flies off the handle really quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
and I get it. I get it. He was abused, so it's a defense mechanism, whatever.
at some point, Sandy was sitting, I think, with Eugene, and she was talking about how she's not seeing anyone right now, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess fuck Chris Kosachek then. And then Tony showed up in the scene, and I was like, oh, because Tony's her new prospect, maybe, I don't know. But later, she shows up at Chris's house, and Pete's there. He answers the door,
Yeah,
and he hits on her in like a really gross, like sexual harassment kind of way.
right.
She should. He says something because Chris is like, "Hey, apologize to her. Don't talk to her like that." And he's like, "Well, maybe if she wasn't shaking it all over town." And I'm like, she was in a velour tracksuit with like
Right.
a turtleneck underneath. Like, how much more covered up could she be?
Right.
What do you mean
I
she's
know.
shaking it all over town? After he like insults her, Kosachek like grabs him and he's like, "What do you do? Hit me like my dad?" Or my family. I feel like he named his father and somebody else. Maybe he was put in a
Yeah.
home at some point. And then Chris like lets him go and he just like verbally lashes him and he's like, apologize. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, say it like you mean it.
Yeah. I like those scenes.
And then he's like, go put a shirt on. He's like, what? She comes here now. I gotta put a shirt on to eat breakfast.
Right, right.
That's when he's annoying because he's just always just like flying off the handle for no reason.
I know. Yeah, and like I said, I get it. He was abused, and I guess he had to always defend himself and whatever. But
But he
it's
takes
Chris's
everything as like a
storyline.
personal attack.
I know. Yeah.
Um, he's still busting tables at shenanigans. I had a moment like you usually do. So we had a new doctor, Veronica Kimball, and I was like, when I saw her, I was like, oh, Marie, and I'm like, that's not Marie. And the whole
Right?
time I kept thinking, oh, Marie, nope, not Marie.
You have no idea how hard it is for me now. Now I have Gwen, Marie, and her, and I'm like, they all have the hair. They all have this hair, big brown hair, and
And I thought
it's
Gwen
brutal.
was done with Alex Marshall, but she was with him again. I was like, what is this? Get over him.
Yeah, right?
I thought we were moving on to Larry Welch. Not that he's
Yeah,
any better.
no.
Oh, so Marlena and Eugene are pretty sure that Bo knows where Roman and Anna are. So they're like tailing him, and Bo sees somebody following him, but he doesn't know who, and he just keeps trying to like lose them. Um, but
That
then
was funny.
later, he's like, Eugene, why are you following me? And they basically accuse him, and he's like, if I knew something, I would tell you, and I don't. So then Eugene puts a tracker on his car, and Bo is like, who's following me now? And I'm like, Eugene drives a cab. If it's a cab, you know it's Eugene.
Right. So why are they like, so I know that they want to, I guess they're like, I don't know if Eugene, like they know that he's seeing Roman, but like, why does Eugene care? He's not a cop or anything.
Because he's best friends with Marlena, which is weird knowing how they first met.
Oh, so that's, yeah, right. That's why. Okay, so that makes sense, I guess. So he wants to know from Marlena, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they both pretty much think that he's talking to his brother. I mean,
Yeah. Even when
yeah,
he takes a phone call from a mysterious person, they're both standing there like trying to eavesdrop on the conversation.
right.
um, we had a random scene. It wasn't a random scene, but it was a scene with Tony on the phone with
Phoenix.
Delia, I think her name is.
Oh, with Delia. Yeah, yeah. The maid.
Because he says, tell Phoenix, I think, um, that Hope Williams should be the next target. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, yes. So we're circling back to the serial killer storyline finally.
So, but Phoenix isn't the one that's killing people.
No,
But supposedly he is.
whoever's killing everybody, I guess, is working for Phoenix.
Right.
Who? We know that the Phoenix is the Demera family crest, so it's Stefano.
Of course. Right, right.
Let's not beat around the bush.
I
Maybe
know.
back
I went
then they
back.
didn't know that, and maybe that was like how they got like around it. But
I miss Stefano. I mean, we never even seen him in the early '80s yet. I guess he comes in '84 at some point.
yeah, no, we haven't. And he came in '82, but like I guess we didn't watch anything that had him in it.
Yeah, I guess I'm guessing he came on for a short stint and then left for a
Yeah, a
year.
lot of his '80s stints were short. They were only like a few months.
So I do want to know that do you know if he was obsessed with Marlena from the get-go? It doesn't seem like he was.
No, so when he first came on, he was basically a drug lord, like a mobster drug lord that Roman was trying to take down. So
Right.
his beef was pretty much with Roman. Like they were just like arch enemies. Um,
So I guess
and
we'll
then
see when he kind of falls for Marlena, I'm guessing.
and then I think when he left, or maybe it overlapped a little bit, Tony came to town, but he was like the good Demera.
Right.
But then
For
Stefano was
five
gone and
minutes.
Tony stayed. So Tony was like the remaining Demera throughout the '80s.
Yeah.
Um, till about '86, I think, '87. But Stefano comes in and out through those years. And then he's gone for
Yeah.
quite some time. I would say at least 5 years, if not longer, till '93.
Damn.
Yeah.
The way it seemed like when I watched it, it just seemed like he was on for since '82, like, and not left. Or left like a handful of times, like just died every time he left.
No, he'll come back for like a couple of months, 6 months, and then he'll leave and come back again.
So is he presumed dead right now?
I think so.
All right. I have to read
Yeah.
my
It
book.
may be his first presumed dead.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
first of a million.
I know, right? Should we keep like a record?
We
Number
don't know for
one.
sure, but we'll just say this is number one and we'll go forward from here.
All right. I'm gonna read my book and see how he died, so then I'm gonna write all his ways of death as we get to them through the years.
um, I thought it was funny that there was this older widowed woman who has a crush on Tom, and Alice is not having it.
Yes. What is her name? She has like the funniest name.
Oh, I can't remember because she's just like a nothing side character.
No, she's not. She was on actually for like 2 years. She was on and off. She was recurring because she actually was involved with Doug at one point. I read up on it.
Oh, not the prostitute, the
Oh, who are
older
you talking?
widowed woman,
Oh, that
not
one with
Foxy,
Tom.
not Foxy,
I was
whatever her
thinking
name is.
Foxy with Doug. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
I'm totally, yeah, no, sorry.
You know,
Gotcha,
Foxy's a
gotcha.
prostitute or a madam. I don't know if she's like the head of the prostitutes right now, but
Yeah, Foxy was what I was thinking of.
yeah, because when Doug first came to town, he was a little bit shady, so it makes sense
Right,
that he would know people like that.
right.
I
And
actually
she
think he may have been
apparently
in
did
prison in
something.
his first scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I could be
So
wrong. I'm
funny.
sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. So Hope ends up going to see Doug again, and she gives him good news on his end that she's going to take his advice and not see Bo. Even though she loves him, she loves her father more and wants him to be get well. And he's so
That was a nice
happy.
grown up. That was a nice grown up moment for her.
Um, and she tells Julie, she's like, I told him that I'm gonna stay above, but I also told him that I love him. So fuck you.
Yeah, right.
um, Bill
It was
Hayes
nice.
must have been working out back then because his chest was exposed and it looked like he had muscles here. I was like, all right, Doug, okay, going to the gym.
Get it?
He
Yeah.
was probably only in his like late 40s, maybe 50 around then.
All right.
Because I think he died at 99, 90, some close to 99, 96 maybe. He was in his late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um, who else?
So Veronica, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with her. I'm like,
I don't
I feel
remember
like
this
nobody.
character at all.
Maybe she's just very recurring then. She must be back burner.
It almost 1984 feels like there was a writer's switch at some point, and I gotta look that up and see because this feels so different than like what it becomes. So I almost wonder if they brought her on and then the writers changed and they dropped her because I don't remember her
Well,
at all.
the only thing I guess she's maybe gonna do is that because she was out with Neil. Remember Neil took her out or whatever, right?
Hmm.
So I'm guessing she's kind of just like a thing for Liz to kind of be
Make her
jealous
jealous,
of.
maybe, and jog her memory that
Right, that's what I'm
she loves
thinking, like
Neil.
something. Right. So I'm thinking Veronica probably won't be around too long. So I'm like, who else could they really pair her with? There's everybody's pretty much paired up for the most part, unless she
Right.
joins the Single Hearts Club.
Howie Hofstetter had
Whenever
to go
that
to the
happens.
hospital.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Marie yelled at him because he had a cigar, and she takes it away from him and leaves, and immediately he pulls another one out from his hat.
And I did like that. I was like, I like that. That's fun.
I laugh because, um, first of all, I guess it's Doug's place where everybody has coffee and sits down at those tables or whatever. That set
Mm,
reminds me of the Facts of Life set for some reason, like the kitchen and like the lounge area.
I can see that. I
Every
can
time I
see
see that,
that.
I'm like, this reminds me of the Facts of Life. But I laughed because Eugenie was doing a crossword puzzle, and he said to Bo, I don't remember how many letters it was. Maybe it was 5-letter word for elusive, and he put like slippery as he was like looking at Bo.
Which is not 5 letters.
Yeah, it was probably more.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to think.
So yeah, Larry's getting closer to Hope. So I'm guessing this is where his obsession is starting, um, and developing. I
It's
think
not
he's
really.
just like,
I don't remember it being an obsession. She's like a political wife because he's cheating on her throughout their whole marriage with Gwen.
hmm.
But he like doesn't
Wait,
want
who?
to lose her because I don't know. It's weird. I
Wait,
don't
who gets married? But
Larry
Hope
and
and her?
Hope.
Ew, that's so weird. I don't
Yeah,
remember that they were married.
yeah. She's a political wife. She won't sleep with him.
Well, good.
Um,
I wouldn't either.
he knows that she was involved with Bo. I mean, I'm jumping really far ahead, but I think the way she gets out of sex is by saying that she's pregnant, and I think she wears like a pad to make it look like she's pregnant.
That's funny.
And I think that may be why he starts sleeping with Gwen because Hope's not giving it up.
Why would Gwen want anything to do with him if he's married to Hope?
I don't know. She's a lawyer. He's a DA. Maybe she sees it as a way to advance her career. I don't know.
That kind of makes her shitty too, in a way.
Or she might
Ew.
genuinely like him. I don't know. They've been sharing scenes like here and there, so she might actually
Yeah,
fall in love with
that's
him.
true. So we could talk about your girl Liz.
She sang twice,
She
maybe
did.
3 in the episode I didn't watch. I don't know. But so she seems to be running Doug's place while Doug is out. And I had the thought, they're leaving soon, and this becomes Blondie's, named after her, obviously, because that's what Neil calls her. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I wonder if this is like foreshadowing her running it to become Blondie's.
So I know Neil made up to her in the first episode because of how he acted, so that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they had a nice moment, and she gives the ring back to him
Mm-hmm.
that he flew off his finger and was all mad about her, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
acting like a douche. Nobody gives people 5 minutes. That's all people need. Just like,
You're
give
like,
me
can I have
five
5 minutes?
minutes. Nobody gives them 5 minutes. Like they just want to immediately solve the problem, and people just need five.
Yeah.
So, but it was a nice moment between them.
So
And
what
he
is your
says
take? Do you
he says
like
he's gonna
them?
lay off.
Do you like them? Do you like one over the other? Like, how do you feel about those characters?
I'm interested in them. I don't really care about them as a couple because I don't know them that well as a couple because they're really not technically
Okay.
right now. So I
Okay.
didn't really, yeah. Um,
Hmm.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think of what couples I would be rooting for. I guess Marlena and Roman really are my couple. Did you say that Pete was studying for his what is it called? EGD? Something like that.
GED.
GED, thank you.
Hmm.
Like EGD.
Yeah, and he left his papers there, so Maggie knew that he was there.
Uh-huh. She's like, can we
Um,
talk about this?
um,
Oh, and Bo talks to Doug. That was a fun conversation.
yeah, Doug is basically like, you're an experienced man, she's a child, and I'm like, mm-hmm. And I just thought about the rewrite James E. Riley did that they were in love since they were kids. I was like,
Right.
total retcon.
Yeah. Oh, new writers. Why can't they just if they would focus on the past and go with it, like everything would work out smoothly. Especially the people that are
We
watching 1984 and 2024.
Danny was mentioned, but I didn't see him.
Yeah, he
So
wasn't
even if
here.
he's not on the show, he's there in spirit.
Yes, he is.
Um. Oh, so Roman and Anna are, I guess, at like a seminary. They're like dressed up like monks.
Yeah, when did that happen? Like,
I
I
guess
feel like I
off
missed an
screen because we
episode.
didn't see them, but they kept making phone calls. So maybe they were like on the move and getting to the seminary. I don't
So
know.
they left the yeah, they left the library. Now they're monks.
Yeah. And Anna's just like, I
So
just want a
weird.
burger. Can Bo bring us a burger?
Yeah, Anna's itching, man. They oh, and then Roman's trying to send her off to Europe. I thought that was
Yeah.
funny.
And
Get
then
rid of her.
Bo
I'm done
comes
with
with
her.
his tape to have Roman listen to it. And Anna's like, can I go back to Salem? I'll tell them you're innocent. She's like, you don't even want me here. She's like, I could just go. And he's like, no. And
Right.
he's just like, no, but like, you don't even want me here.
Seriously.
um, Bo has a gun that he's not registered to have. And because Roman's a cop, he's like, I don't really like this, but okay. But
Yeah.
then Bo ends up getting pulled over and the cop finds the gun, so he gets arrested. So that was the last I saw. That was like the cliffhanger. Yeah. Well, I think
Well,
if what's coming the next week is coming, then I'm excited because I think it's more serial killer stuff. So I'm excited to get back into that.
I'm guessing that's what it's gonna think something is going to happen at the fundraiser, I think, with the serial killer thing. I'm guessing.
Maybe I don't
Um,
remember the details about it. If it even happens next week, it could be 2 weeks because sometimes we'll talk about something, and it's like a month
yeah.
later.
I did get a kick out of Foxy, and I looked her up. Foxy was in a couple episodes of Charlie's Angels. I'm like, I knew I saw her face. She was in something else too, and for some reason I didn't write it down.
You and your Charlie's Angels.
Angels is my shit. It's on my wall right here. Um, I like Chris's stuff. I'm not like into Chris and Sandy, but I'm interested in their drama. Um,
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Chris. I
when does
actually,
Anna leave? I love Chris. I love Chris because he's Roman to me. So that's what I think of him as Roman too. I'm like, oh yeah, Roman. I honestly see two Romans. I can't get it out of my head.
Anna doesn't leave till 86.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like, I thought they were lining her up to leave because I'm like, okay, maybe that's how she'll leave. Just go to Europe because that's where she ends up going anyway. To
No, I
leave, I
think
believe.
Tony leaves before her, and she's on the show without him for a while.
Interesting. Or does Tony ever come back?
Um, in 1993 till 95, when John killed him, and John was put in the guillotine or whatever. But then we found out that that was Andre, because then Tony comes back again in 2002. But
So
then we
none of
found
it's
out.
Tony.
But then we found out during the serial killer storyline that that was Andre. So I think Andre has just been on since 84 to 2008, I guess.
So where the hell's Tony?
Tony,
He was on for
he was
seriously
on
like
an
a few
island,
months.
and that'll connect when you see the island that when we eventually get there.
Uh,
I
ay, ay,
think
ay.
they loosely based it on what I think we're gonna see, but it probably doesn't make sense because it was Dina Higley.
Mm.
But anything else to add on this week?
No, I don't think so.
But all right, well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Days of Our Lives in 1984. We'll try and come back real soon with another week. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Bye.